Welcome back to my channel. Today, we explore the value of specific coins, the most valuable Lincoln Wheat penny coins, value in market. First up, the 1909 Lincoln Wheat penny without a mint mark is one of the most iconic coins in American history and a favorite among collectors. This coin marks the very first year of the Lincoln cent series, which replaced the Indian head penny that had been in circulation since the 1800s. The design was created by Victor David Brenner and features a portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the front, making it the first U.S. coin to feature a real person rather than a symbolic figure. The reverse side shows two wheat ears framing the words 1 cent, which gave the coin its popular name, the wheat penny. The 1909 wheat penny without a mint mark was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Since there is no mint mark under the date, we know it was not made in San Francisco. The Philadelphia Mint produced more than 72 million of these coins in 1909, which makes them easier to find than the rarer 1909S issues. However, even without a mint mark, this coin is still highly collectible because it represents the beginning of one of the most famous coin series in the world. In very fine condition, a 1909 Lincoln Wheat penny shows clear detail in Lincoln's face, hair, and coat, although the highest points of the design are lightly worn. The wheat stalks on the reverse side remain visible, and all major lettering is clear and readable. Some minor scratches or small marks are normal for a coin that's over a century old, especially one that has circulated through many hands. As of today's market, the 1909 Lincoln Wheat penny without a mint mark in very fine condition typically sells for around $200,000, depending on eye appeal and the overall sharpness of the design. Coins that show minimal wear, natural color, and no cleaning damage may reach the higher end of that range. Coins with darker toning or more visible scratches are closer to the lower end. Collectors especially look for two main varieties of the 1909 penny, the one with the initials VDB on the reverse and the one without. The initials stand for the designer Victor David Brenner. Early in production, the Mint removed the initials because they thought they were too prominent, making the version with VDB more desirable. If your 1909 penny does not have the VDB initials, it's still valuable, but not as rare as the 1909 VDB or the 1909 SVDB versions, which can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars in higher grades. Even with some scratches, your 1909 no mint mark wheat penny holds historical and collectible value. It's a piece of American coinage history, marking the start of over a century of Lincoln cents that are still in use today. Every collector loves to own a 1909 penny because it represents the first step in a long and beloved series. If you have one in very fine condition, it's definitely worth keeping safe in a coin holder or protective sleeve, as it remains one of the most memorable coins of the early 20th century. Next up, the 1942 Lincoln Wheat penny. Without a mint mark is a classic coin from the World War II, Soder fra dan tiwer ear, and part of the long-running Lincoln cent series that began in 1909. The absence of a mint mark means it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which produced a very large number of these coins that year. In total, over 657 million 1942 pennies were made in Philadelphia alone, making this issue one of the most common wheat pennies of the early 1940s. Because of this high mintage, most examples found today are considered ordinary unless they have special qualities like high mint state grade or an unusual minting error. The obverse of the coin shows the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner, while the reverse side carries the traditional wheat ears design, featuring two stylized wheat stalks framing the denomination 1 cent. The motto, E pluribus unum, appears above, with United States of America below. Over time, these coins develop a warm brown or reddish tone depending on how they were stored and circulated. Since this 1942 penny is described as being in dirty condition with some scratches, it would be categorized as a heavily circulated coin. Dirt, discoloration, and scratches are signs that the coin has been handled by many people over the decades. In such condition, most of the original luster has faded, and some details in Lincoln's hair and coat are likely worn smooth. Despite this, many collectors still appreciate the historical value of a 1942 wheat penny, as it represents an important time in American history when the country was involved in World War II and metal resources were carefully managed. In today's coin market, a 1942 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark in heavily circulated or dirty condition typically holds a small collector value. Most dealers and collectors would price such a coin between $300,000 depending on its appearance. If it shows better detail and less damage, the value could rise slightly, but in general, worn and scratched examples remain close to face value. However, there are a few special varieties and errors from 1942 that can make the coin more valuable. Some pennies from that year show doubling on the date or lettering known as doubled die errors, and these can sell for several dollars or more if easily visible. There are also off-center strikes and die cracks that can raise the value, especially if the coin still shows clear date and design features. Collectors sometimes pay extra for coins with interesting toning or unusual planchet flaws as well. If you have a 1942 wheat penny like this one, it's best to leave it as it is and avoid cleaning it, since cleaning can scratch the surface and reduce any remaining collector value. While this particular example in dirty and scratched condition is not rare, it still has a bit of historical charm as a genuine pre-1959 Lincoln wheat cent. Even though its cash value is small, it serves as a piece of American history from over 80 years ago, when every cent truly mattered during wartime. Next up, the 1927 Lincoln wheat penny with the D mint mark is a classic coin that holds real historical and collector value. This coin was minted at the Denver Mint nearly a century ago, and while millions were produced, far fewer have survived in collectible condition today. The D mint mark, located just below the date on the obverse side, identifies that it came from the Denver facility. Coins from this mint tend to be a bit scarcer than those from Philadelphia, especially when they've been well preserved over the years. A 1927 D wheat penny in fine condition shows moderate wear across Lincoln's portrait and the lettering. The word Liberty and the date are still readable, and the wheat ears on the reverse side remain visible, though flattened from circulation. Fine condition means it was used in everyday commerce, and scratches are common from handling and contact with other coins. Despite these marks, it still retains a strong antique appeal. The 1927 D penny is made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, which gives it the warm reddish-brown tone collectors appreciate. Over time, many of these coins have darkened or developed a soft brown patina. The coin's design, by Victor David Brenner, features Abraham Lincoln on the front and two wheat stalks on the back, symbolizing prosperity and strength. This design remained on the penny until 1958, making the wheat cents a nostalgic favorite among coin enthusiasts. In today's coin market, a 1927 D Lincoln wheat penny in fine condition with some scratches typically sells for around $400,000, depending on overall eye appeal and color. Heavier scratches or dark spots can lower the value slightly, while coins with sharp details and original color may attract higher offers. Collectors are willing to pay more if the coin shows good clarity in Lincoln's features and minimal damage. Although it isn't one of the rarest dates in the wheat penny series, the 1927 D is still sought after by collectors completing full Lincoln cent sets. In higher grades, such as extremely fine or uncirculated, the value increases sharply, sometimes reaching $450,000 or more for coins certified by grading services. Mint state examples are especially hard to find because most 1927 D pennies circulated heavily through the Great Depression years. If your 1927 D penny has some scratches but remains clearly readable and attractive overall, it still has collectible worth. It's always best not to clean it, as cleaning can remove its original surface and reduce value. Instead, store it in a protective coin holder or a soft plastic flip to prevent further wear. Many collectors enjoy keeping coins like this for their historical significance rather than pure value. So while a 1927D wheat penny in fine condition may not be worth a fortune, it's a genuine piece of early 20th century American history. Its modest copper shine and connection to the Lincoln legacy make it a meaningful addition to any coin collection, especially for those who appreciate vintage U.S. coinage. Next up, the 1948 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark is a classic collectible coin from the post-war era of the United States. This coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which is why there is no mint mark under the date. Millions of these coins were produced that year, making the 1948 penny a common but historically meaningful piece of American coinage. Even though it may not be rare, its age and design still attract collectors, especially those who love the traditional wheat reverse design that was used from 1909 to 1958. In 1948, the United States was moving into a period of recovery and growth after World War II. The Lincoln cent continued to feature the same design that had been used since 1909, the portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the front and two wheat ears framing the words 1 cent on the back. This design was created by Victor David Brenner and is now one of the most iconic images in U.S. coin history. Because the Philadelphia Mint produced over 317 million of these coins, most 1948 wheat pennies are still found in circulation, change jars, or old family collections. When describing your 1948 wheat penny as being in good condition, it means the coin has seen plenty of circulation. The details of Lincoln's face are heavily worn. The rims may be flat in some places, and the lettering could be faint. Despite this wear, all the major details such as the date and the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust" should still be visible. Having some scratches is normal for coins this old, especially those that were used in everyday transactions for decades. In today's market, a 1948 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark in good condition typically has a value of about $300,000 to $350,000. Some dealers or collectors might pay a little more if the coin has attractive color or no major damage beyond normal wear. It's not a coin that usually brings high prices, but it's still appreciated for its history and the sentimental value it holds for those who collect older U.S. coins. If the coin were in higher grades such as fine, very fine, or extremely fine, its value might rise slightly, often ranging from 10 to 20 cents. In uncirculated or mint state condition, with sharp details and no signs of wear, a 1948 Philadelphia wheat penny could be worth between $400,000 and dollars. The most valuable examples are those graded and certified by professional services like PCGS or NGC, especially if they show original red luster or exceptional preservation. While your coin in good condition with some scratches is considered a common piece, it's still a nice example of post-war American coinage. Every collector starts with coins like this. Simple, honest pieces that tell a story of a time when pennies had real buying power. Keeping it safe in a small coin holder or plastic flip can help preserve it from further damage. Over time, it may not grow much in value, but it remains a worthy part of any Lincoln wheat penny collection.